Okay, question 9, question 10. So we're going back to percentages here. Let's have a look. So Georgie had her roof repaired. She was charged an extra 2.5, so extra is the kind of the key word here, extra 2.5 for a late payment, so she had to pay 977. Calculate how much she would have saved if she paid on time. Okay, so what we're saying here is we know that she's paid 977.85, and she's been charged an extra 2.5%. Okay, so there's the amount she had to pay, which obviously you'd imagine she would be paying 100% of the job. If they gave her a discount, and she's had to pay a 2.5% on top of that. Okay, so we've got 102.5% equal to 977.85. Okay, so that's kind of the first issue with this question. Okay, it's known that it's 102.5%. Okay, so we've had to understand that the decimal here, they have kind of told us it to be sure. So yeah, but we're over 100 is the point. Okay, 102.5 is 977.85. So how do we get back to working out 100? Okay, we're trying to work out how much she would have saved. We're trying to basically work out the 100%. Okay, so to get back to 100, we've got to divide both sides by 102.5, and then we're going to times it by 100. Okay, so we're going to do the same on both sides. Divide by 102.5, and then times by 100. So if we do this divided by 102.5, that obviously just gives us 1%. Then times it by 100, it gives us 100%. That's what we're doing. We're finding 1%, finding 100%. Okay, so 977.85 divided by 102.5, that's going to give me 954, and then times by 100, 954. Okay, so we've not quite finished the question yet. We've worked out what 100% is, but we need to work out the difference. Okay, so what is the difference between? So how do we ended up with paying 977.85, but she should have just paid 954. So how have we got from here to here? Well, we've paid an extra, what would that be, 23.85? Okay, so that would be the difference. Okay, so again, you could just put a little sentence just to put it into English. An extra, she paid an extra 23.85. Okay, I've just said plus 23.85. But the point is to remember there's an extra step in there. Okay, so marks for this one. Looks like you're getting your first mark for identifying 102.5 is the sum. Then using your strategy here, you would get a mark and then the final answer. Okay, so this first line gets you a mark, a valid strategy to get, because there's different ways to get to 100%, but this obviously works, so there are different ways to do it, and then your final answer. Okay, good stuff. Question 10. Express this in the form of this. So we should identify this as a completeness square. Okay. Some completeness squares can be quite tricky. This one's actually reasonably straightforward. And again, it is quite easy to know if you get the right answer because you can always just double check by breaking out this bracket. Okay. So x plus p squared. Let's do that bit first. Okay. So the first step in completing the square is to half this number. Okay. So we're going to do x plus 5 squared. Okay. Now, I know that's my first move. Okay. The second move, some people instinctively know what to do the second move. I like to just double check. Okay. So if I did x plus 5 squared, this is what we'd get. I'd get x squared, I'd get 5x, I'd get 5x. And see here I've got x squared, and that's going to give me 10x. So that is actually now that part of the equation. But by doing this, I've also got an extra 25, which I didn't really want. Okay, so I've changed the equation by doing this, so I need to unchange it. Okay, so the minus 15 was always there, but I now need to do minus 25 to undo this plus 25 which exists now because I've laid it out this way. Okay, so some people just know to do that. They just know to say, well, I'm going to half this, so that's x plus 5 squared, and I'm going to take away the half number squared. Okay, but I like to just do this each time. Okay, so that's going to give me a final answer of x. Oops. Going to give me x plus 5 squared minus 40. Okay, and that'll be your final answer. Okay, so just remember that first step. You're just halving that, and by halving that, you set yourself up for this stage. That we already had. Okay, so that's fine. And it was this bit that we had to take off of the equation. Very straightforward. Some other ones can be trickier than that, but if you remember about the halving, it's fine. And yeah, multiply that out and you'll end up with this at the beginning. Okay, that's the way to check you've done it right. Actually multiply this out, you should get that. Okay, nice.